being available to audition 5 days a week. Or just being available to audition, period. Then booking the job is the goal. It's the gravy. It's what we all hope for. And then sometimes, if we are awarded a role in a series, like Sailor Moon, then as that series continues, you get more work, you keep coming back, and then you hope that with some of the writers you work with, that perhaps they go on to other projects, and like the connection and the chemistry they had with you, perhaps would consider you for other roles. So it's not unlike school in a way. You're in school for a number of years, and you do different projects, you're in different classes together, and maybe you're in sports or some other program, and eventually you start meeting more and more people, your friends network. Next thing you know, it's a smaller world, and it's the same way with entertainment. And I would say from my experience in these conventions for the last 9+ years, I've gotten to meet some really great actors and actresses on the road who eventually we've ended up running into one another at a job or two. So, that's a lot of words. But I'm going to distill it. What they said is correct. Making the demo, and that's what I did many years ago, and I just did a new animation demo recently, which is up. It's probably in Coast Bank. It's definitely at my William Morris agency. So if you go to William Morris Los Angeles, it's just over 90 seconds. Brand spanking new. And what it is a combination of myself and then me doing different dialects and characters out of range. An unusual, but not too cartoony. Because the recent feedback I've been given is, don't make it so cartoony.
We have two. I got one that's for commercial and one that's for cartoon.
Right, I have a commercial as well.
Yeah. But I agree, right now here's the trend, is a lot less pinch, a lot less everything. It's affected, but not too much.
All right.
Right? And it's like, okay, let's do a character.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, would you say kind of use more of the natural tone downhill?
Oh, look at this, then.
Well, if you look at even through the 90s and all that stuff, the cartoons were very heavily affected, and that seemed to suspend disbelief. But now a lot of the stuff, you really listen to the voices, they're quite true to form almost. It's almost like live action, but just animated.
Yeah.
It depends on the project, but I find like you said, more and more that's what they're asking for. I think.
Yeah. You can mix it up. You might throw in.
But then again, the other day I had one where they said you can really go cartoon. Like you go really, like okay, like oh boy. And then you get to have that fun. It's rare that you really get to let it rip.
That sounds like one of the Animaniacs.
It did.
Didn't it? Was it
That did sound like
Wacko?
something.
Was it Yakko?
Yakko.
Wacko.
It was probably Waco.
Yeah.
Nope.
I think you should be the new one.
I can't use my new agency. You can reach me at.
I'm working this guy. Trust me. This guy's hot and he's got good eyes.
First of all, Quentin, I had no idea you played Axel until I came in here, and I love Kingdom Hearts, so that was like the most amazing surprise ever, and thank you for being here.
I'm feeling it.
And second of all, you guys just record the parts that your characters speak in, so do you ever get confused when you go from one part to the next?
I mean, if I do another role in the same session?
Yeah, like when it cuts from doing the voice of a character from one scene to another.
Not usually, because they're kind enough to allow us to do all of my Axel. And then if they wanted me to do a different character, then they could do it separately. So then there wouldn't be any confusion.
You get confused in the fact sometimes, well, for us, when we did Sailor Moon, they didn't give us scripts. We had no script. We went into a room, and there was a big screen in front of us, and they would just play the words above the screen, and we would follow along and bounce the ball.
Wow.
So and if you might not have been used in the first 5-10 minutes of the show. And so they're saying, okay, let's just go right to 8:07. Linda, this is your first one coming up. Here we go. And you're going, what is going on? The words come by, and you see maybe Darian. Like maybe it says Darian. I'm like, Darian? And then it's like, no, you're angry at him. Go back. And I'm like, no, I'm supposed to know that. Darian! Oh! You've got to change it all. It's like, oh, it was really weird. And then they say, okay, that's great. Let's move down to 15:03. And you say maybe what? And you're, what? Like, you just didn't know. It was really confusing.
And also, what was also confusing, for the reactions, all we get is in brackets, it would be react, like react. And so what that was, I don't know what it was. And I remember one time when it was going by, so you just kind of have to guess. So the first take was like, mixed bag kind of thing. And I remember one coming by, I went, ha! But I was actually getting stabbed. No, that doesn't fit. Let's do this again. But it was funny, those moments would happen quite a lot because, like she said, we'd go in blind for the first go, and a lot of times you'd be like, oh, this is actually working, and then something like that would happen. Something. They'd make fun of us, and we'd have to stop them halfway.
So we really also didn't know what was happening in the show a lot. I knew a lot more because I had a lot of lines, but other ones, sometimes, Mars or Jupiter would have only had like 3 lines in the show, and then you're like, I have no idea what that was about. Okay, here's what happened. I don't care. Just move on.
Oh, yeah, you're right next to it.
So my aunt originally got me into Sailor Moon when I was like 3.
I love her.
She's so nice.
She's awesome.
Wow.
She's like, so original. But to this day, I also get young kids into Sailor Moon as well. And I was just wondering, for you 3, what got you guys into anime or games or anything like that?
Auditions.
Hey,
Zing.
I like it. That's exactly how I would have been into it. Well, I mean, as a kid, back in the day, I didn't know, there wasn't an expression called anime, but there were 2 cartoons from Japan that were dubbed into English called Speed Racer and Kimba the White Lion, which they eventually used to develop the Lion King. It's true, I didn't make it up. And Kimba, if you ever can find reruns of it, I'm sure it's on YouTube. With my friend Robbie and his tonight, another actor with Joe, was the most powerful lion in the world. Because if you looked at Kimba, imagine I'm Kimba, my body is Kimba. And Kimba would be moving her paws and feet, and then the rest of the background would be whizzing by, so she was basically spinning the earth. That's how Kimba was. It wasn't going anywhere, and the world was rotating around the earth. So, yeah, I'll be damned. And I did get to play Speed Racer in a Geico commercial some years later, to a Los Angeles audition. So for me, that was a big deal. I wanted to be Speed Racer, so I got to be Speed. I wanted to be Johnny Quest, got to do him in the New Adventures of Johnny in the 90s. And then Spider-Man, who I got to play in Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. And that's all I wanted to do was Spider-Man as a kid. That's it. And then anime, as you know, I'll get back to your question, came along through voice acting, Western animation. Then there was anime. What's that? We did dub Japanese into English, and they've rewritten scripts, and there's timing in it. It's very musical, and you have to listen to the director, give you directions. They know what's going on, you don't, like you said. Then you jump to page 47, and then you really gotta be quick. And then what's this video game? What's that? Oh, it's acting for games that are eventually gonna have dialogue, and there's gonna be storylines. So we've had to kind of grow with it as you've grown up. You kids are quick. Oh gosh.
How up there? There's up there.
You told me you haven't picked anyone.
I haven't picked anybody. Way up there.
Do you have any
I'm going to play a thief at the end of this panel and take your money.
I've done George of the Jungle. They've just done a new George of the Jungle.
What? Coming out?